ye la ya zon che la ya zon che ye na zon che la ma la ya zon che san ye la ya zon che che la ya zon che ye na la ya zon che san ye che dan zon che cho nam la Chang Zhong Ban Dong Diao Zong Ye Da Ye Jian Zong Jie Wei Cong Nam Jie Do Nam Pen Jie San Ye Zhong Bar Shou San Ye Che Dan Zong Ye Jiao Nam Chang Zhong Ban Dong Dan Ne Yao Zong Jie Dan Ye Jian Zong Jie Wei Cong Nan Jie Chong Nan Pen Jie Song Jie Zhong Bai Shou Zhen Zhen Tang Jie De Dong De Wei Jie Dong Den Bo Ran Jie Jie Sen Jie Tang Jie Ngan Jie Jie Tang Da Wan Jie Jie Sen Jie Tang Jie Be Be De Wan Tang Men Da Wan Jie Jie Sem Tam Je Nye Ram Cha Da Nye Dan Da We Tam Nyam La Ne Waran Ju Ro Je Sem Je Tam Je De Wa Dan De We Ju Dan Den Bar Ju Je Sem Je Tam Je De no da war je sen je tam je de be de wa da me da war sen je tam je ye cho da ni da da we Anyong lo ne waran juron ju so je bo je jo shan ne dong re ro le je nye de je bo de Zang je zhang do ye de bo ye In English, on page number 11, I take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. From now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings fight equanimity, purifies attachment and memory. They surround the mound to be perfumed, strewn with flowers, mound to be encircled by the four continents, surrounded by the sun and the moon. Visualize this movie. May all living creatures say on page number 14, foundation prayer. We'll chant the foundation prayer. If you don't want to chant, just meditate. 我要用的我这些就真正所想的望接造我多年的报道嘛。深多年康，这些觉念在我多年我能别，就是没见我见。所有我求也求我人多知我真是为这所有当真么而难能这中。念我我念日念月，朝山朝朝公，也从大中不切跑，我的我我前进。界别我的我根结，也得我别动也我当为的我年之我是。我的一张我人多我去你我所的我如我是你我这是我这中的我若为个是上受生，我是现做这场此中囊所，我这内。
땅만 좀 넣는다. 네, 그죠. 무슨 참대로 그랬잖아. 가정만 되겠네. 저다. 저러. 예. 대랑아도 참참하다. 나쪽스근 담아 지금 나와시근 담아 지금 많이 체시. 이따 저는 안 연든 던지 눈바도 못 붙이는 상황이 요새.
Good morning, everyone. And since we have Venerable Geshe leading the one of our class, and so our schedule is every month we take place take the class. Maybe one of the class Geshe will lead, and one of the class Venerable Geshe will lead, and so but anyway, today I would like to talk about the uh, little bit about the explanations of the meaning of the recitations, and because these are the recitations we often we use whenever we have class and some other events. So I thought maybe it would be good to understand the meaning of the recitations.
알람을 다운로드랑 덤을 비추는 카드리는 같은 수습. 너무 마르기 돈로와근 남들이 공부도 지우지는 뒤도 독세나 근데 덤을 비추니 다 딘데 zon데 디랑보스랑이 비춰서 정치는데 안에 손이的一系统所能基础的一系统一些个所能基础的一系统你那的作用是做那个跟你公报对的那근데跟你公报头那가려 요지나 다 진짜 카 카드 영화 그래서 봐 어떤 데 전에 남 카톤 냠비 심지 탐지기 돈데 근데 초서 르바 장위 나지데 가르나 너무 가르치가 그 전에 때 선지 공부 도베지긴 그 돈네 가르치나 너무 마르기 돈도와 근 로, 로 마르비 만비 듭도 시와 때 탐지 근 시위 남들 제위 공부도 지으세 때 된지 남들 세드 남들 여와서 선지 공부 도버 저긴 제득다
And so I would like to talk about the meaning of the London prayer. If you have a copy, please go to on page number 80, and the first verse of the page number 80, 80, uh, by the knowledge and wisdom vast as space, gain with effort over time, may I become the Buddha for those whose mind are blinded by ignorance. So here, basically, uh, kind of making a great wish uh, uh, toward the Buddha, attaining the Buddha, as well as the all sentient beings. For example, at the very beginning, it says um, the until and I achieve uh, until I accomplish the two merits, the merits of the wisdom and the merit of the accumulations. Um, I will do my hard work to achieve or to accumulate these two merits. And for the sake of all sentient beings who are doomed or blinded by the ignorance. And in order to do that, I would like to, I wish and to gain or attain the Buddhahood. So that's the reasons I'm seeking for the Buddhahood. And here, actually, in Tibetans, we have at the last line, we say that Namdin Gyawi. So Namdin Gyawi, Namdin is referring to the Buddha.
그래서 다른 거랑 정확한 당신나 당도 영난 직바동 레와동 이지고네 제나 샤와도 돈도 삼반달라 밥도 연구를 아무도 남부치 검적했네 지 가든 동네나 동고 직바동 네 레와 이가를 연구를 덴바지가 넘나 직바동 레와 니가 돼
Tenbashina. So I think uh, whatever we do in our life, I think it is very much or the we can achieve the very wish we desire. As long as we have two things that kind of awake us from the some sort of the difficulties or darkness in order to us to achieve the very desire, the stage of wishing for. So these two things are either have the scarefulness or the great hope. When we have either scare or the hope, then there's a great possibility that we can achieve that whatever we desire, whatever we wish, whether we, as a Buddhist, whether we practice meditations or doing daily recitations and so forth. As long as we have these two things in our mind, so there's a greater hope that we can achieve that wish that we desire. And these two things that I mentioned, either the scarefulness or the hopefulness. These two are basically mentioned in the four noble truths.
전반적으로 모두 가르치는데 말로 마음속도 등을 대 봐서 맞다 열린지 공부 리동 요모고 장암께 등이 공부도 요소 공부들은 제가 나치고 신들라 등이 등을 아니들라 여기 등을 차원의 시 등을 쓰면 등 쓰면 맞 뭐 등이 전기 공부들이 나오서 등이 세던 것도 차송 나송 기원 담았다 제가 나치고도 등이 등을 여기 등을 생각도 조금 더 세 장르도 참참한 내용 오장 등것 같아 여기 등을 샤워 드시는 것은 알아서 랑치가 못 받게 대랑 드시는 선인가 내용이나 바로 손좀 더 되니까 찌까찌를 받았지 맞답이 처위 공도 반로지 맞대 랑함에 맞대 그러나 샤워는 시키는 게 때마다 뒤동 남바 기와는 좀 뭐치디 코라도 막고 왔던 거 인침에 그런 거들 맞죠 그래서 근데 하고에나 능력 특강리 종아리 진짜나 그 요몽과 근종 요몽 근종리 종아리 근데 근는 종아서 근종세를 가려서 근종들은 레당 요몽 이용 거지 레당 요몽세 레당 요몽을 가는 용거 요몽세 semkan samlo다 dans mari ke ne lang chadang ni chi tel ten ni tingri sim cho ba le sa ju tel la ten ni wa tel la ten ma ta ke wa te ro ri te ne la ki yo sa te dong ni mo ni ga chu te za te mo sam tong na ngan song la so ba ten de gen la ke nen chi pa bong bu yo te zo chen bai na o chi pa te le ta kyo bu bong de chi tang khwa le chi pa le kyo bu se ngan song gu ji gen kyo se kyo bu ge sam de kyo chong gu lam 근데 지금 코알리 타나 사베테 기운을 남으세요. 심지 탐지 코알리다 나 사베테 기운 전부로. 어때 자, 때 심지 빨리 껴비 니와 요바 이치고 콘조스나 이치 답비가 때 람냠스 람바이나 목든지 타와 토바도 요바 때 말로 들어와서 사들이 되지. 또 이차나 때 람다. 봐. 덴바지가 나대 그러지. 맞아.
The um, so the actually the so these are two things are being mentioned in the Four Noble Truths, and so uh, uh, the truth of suffering and and so forth. And the suffering actually is being caused by the destructive emotions, the destructive emotions, and also the karma. Because of the karma and the destructive emotions, we we experience immensely this all kinds of suffering, and so there are the actually the three kinds of the suffering. Suffering of suffering and suffering of change and pervasive suffering. The suffering of suffering, of course, the that generally and it is really obvious, and we can tell the suffering of suffering. For example, sometimes we have the feeling of cold and or feeling of hot or the sickness and the death. So these are the we call the suffering of suffering, which constantly the suffering of suffering, which are very obvious. And the second is the suffering of change. Uh, Sorry, the first one is suffering of suffering are widely known as the birth, aging, sickness, and death. So these are we call the suffering of suffering, which are very obvious. And the second is the suffering of change, which is the constantly our very feeling of happiness and suffering constantly change by the different kinds of cause and effect. For example, today maybe we want to have a kind of a cold. We want to have a cool air and so forth. When we live in there quite long, and then we want to feel cold and we want to have a warm and so forth. And the pervasive suffering, the suffering, which is the quite kind of subtle to understand, and also that without any control, we experience this suffering, and momentarily we experience this suffering. For example, the momentary of the agings toward the death. So this is called the pervasive suffering. So this all the sufferings we will experience until we the abandons or the eliminate the samsara, and so, until the samsara, and so that's why the so the very the cause of the suffering, this which is the destructive emotions or the karma or the destructive emotions. Because of that, we experience the all kinds of the karma of the attachments and aversions and so on and so forth. And we experience the all kinds of the suffering in our life. But once we know that there are great possibility that we can practice based on the individuals or determine what kind of individuals he or she is by the having a capacity or the great motivation as well as the capacity. If the individual just merely seeking for free from the the uh, hell realms, and this is known as the small capacity being or the individuals, or the it is, individuals who are seeking for the liberation just by him or herself. And that's persons known as the capacity of the middle being or the middle individuals, or the individuals who seeking liberations for the sake of all sentient beings, and that individuals are known as great capacity or get great capacity mind of the individuals or the beings. So once we understand this all, this is being taught these two things that I mentioned earlier in this form of the truth. First, of course, all the suffering and the cause of the suffering, and the end, the true truth, which is the path and the cessations.
람 냠슬랑 그래서 람 냠슬랑 람 tel라 가려우스나 다 사바스는 냠슬랑 스톰 길 하바 당일 길 하바 셔럽 길 하바 시고스
So now it's once we understand, then we have to we have a great wish to step in the path. And so there's a two kinds, there's three kinds, there's a path being mentioned in the teaching called the um, three training of the minds. The first one is the training of morality, and the second is training of concentrations, and the third is training of wisdom.
다 스프링기 사바들 또 알고 그래서 먹이죠 참 근데 리긴 있는 거 생각하다 봐서 그냥 이게 나서 뭐를 먹이죠 송고 그러지
And the first, the training of the mind, which is the training of morality or the ethic. So this is basically the maintaining one's conduct by straying from the 10 non-virtues.
근데 아빠 스토리로 당연히 잡았어야 되네 닐리 건시 다시 한번 현재로 스파트는 또 검kil람네 당부티와 TV도 선비검 스마트니 지는 뜻대로 지치는 도와들라 당연히 잡았어요 그렇지
And the second is the training of the mind is concentrations, and which is basically involve the practice of meditations. Begin by understanding the natural the understanding or the having a base of the nature of reality. On the base of that, one could contemplate all the things and events and by the developing the great meditations of the mind. And at the end, you can put all your efforts, all your mind single pointedly on that object at the time.
근데 스바트 셰르키 잡았어야 되네 시답중에 닐링고마데 동비 영사 닐링고마데 잡았잖아 그래서 하고 과텔라 또 하던 거 같이 그렇지 설명이
And then lastly, training of the mind is the wisdoms. The 시럽디 추남지디
시답중에 닐링고마데
내용 하고 있다. And so basically the examining or on the reality, and basically understanding the nature of all phenomena, of the nature of the whole reality or whole phenomena, and so this is uh, there's two kinds of meditations: single pointed and analytical meditations. The This is the analytical the sides of the meditations.
진짜 몸 잡으러 공부는 나가지고 얌저가 봤던 지도 봐지
Sorry, not the analytical, but the special insight. Sorry.
진짜 보다 소원에 사봤으면 냠슬랑서 사봤 당본이 그때 멍쳐 소는 부서서 그거 찾고 그랬어 사봤 다마 안에 시럽지 사봤도 멍쳐 이시 소서비에 그 찾고 그랬어 이제 찾고 그랬어 손들라 몇 손이 세져라 손이 오대
The house in the
당본이 오대 멍쳐 이시 소는지 소서비 사업에 또 저번에라 된 손이 소서비 그랬어 다마데 이시 소서
the house in the and so what we actually gain through the practice of the three training of the mind we could first we will we can we we accumulate the merit, and then second we accumulate the wisdom.
손이 종요나 손이 상이 손이 로지로도 가려 거잖아. 근이 더 그러지. 근이 이시시 같은 이시 오니 같은 말 이시시 같은 standard 뭔가 더 적게서 당하고 근이 있어야 지금 거다. 손이 있어 이시시 그 그지. 그때는 나만 뭔가 더 적게서
And so the good thing about uh, the language connection.
또 성이 공부도 그러더라도 손이 로송이나 손이 공부도 그래. 나때
And once we accumulate the two merits, so there are a great possibility that we can achieve the state of the Buddha.
这不用是不会差劲，这那上头让顿去个这个的，那用是把那去他们这往什么倒比差劲了，这那人都是不一样的，这人都是不一样的，这那人都去个没用过是，
어디 두 번째 방제.
这不用是不的，说让顿他是嘛的是，那他们前不用是做不以外的，人顿他是嘛差的是。 손이 싸우게 점이 방어지네 점이 방어도는 손이 근이 도고
이거에 관한 소소 탐지 관련 두번 방제 이거는
점이 방도 랑돈 다시 봤어 랑도 다시 봤어 때 주바용 좀 방어도 telate 만바용 소고선 탐지 준비 공부도 탐지 준비 공부도 잔도 용수 봐 셰트 샤워 공부하는 일 뭐마도 통해서 잔도 다시 봐줘.
So the once we attain the higher state of mind, so we accumulate we achieve the perfections of the two great the practice called the abandoning the two the defilements, and the which is the once we're able to abandon the two defilements, then of course the fulfilling the one's wish, and also as well as we achieve the perfections of fulfilling others the wishes.
주바니도 용어의 주바도 시시 주바서 그러 용어의 주바도 방어서 아니 소소고 코라코지 네 용좀 가서 시시 주바방어도 탐지 좀 마셔도 되는데 아니 전도 시바 소바 싶다.
So the two defilements is the one defilement is the defilements of the negative the emotions, and once we eliminate these defilements, then we they completely abandons the root of the samsara, and the second defilement is the defilement of the defilements of the omniscience. Once we abandon that defilements, then we achieve the Buddhahood, and so this is the we call the two defilements.
어디서다 손이 쌍비 러지라 가려면 점이 방터 거지 점이 방을 러지라 가서 근이 더고 뭐지 이시 같은
그래서 그런 응. 손이는 그네.
손이 쌍비 러지 제월라 가려면 근이 더 거지. 주바니 방을 방에서 근이 있고 뭐
So the good or the perfections of the abandoning the sorry, not abandoning the achieving the two merits, we can achieve the two bodies or the two kayas.
진짜다 아니 치크 남과진데 예매 봐 치크 동서 동배 영 탐지 남과진데 잡던 거 같이 참고 그랬어 zikun jamsun soso chorlin zikun siyade sabjing ton kama yona tela ni namkala ja sharong zo ten changyo soko shara nangzi sabjing to shibala zhuwa ta zongkong simchi shen to shen tabi niwa yore si ten zat zikun jamsun soso chal cha zane songore
수근 차수신가.
chikin namkwa zide irimil chans chikin namkwa nangzo tamchila tongbi kanya ang chadda gare 다 때렸더니 심진 돈습이 그때 때 가서 손이 상배 주도 먹지도 가라왔어.
So this when we achieve the two kayas, so it's kind of like be able to fulfill the sentient beings like the dharma of the dharma like a sky. The vast as the sky, we can fulfill the sentient beings, and the body and the the second kaya is the body environments like the rainbows, like a rainbows, we can fulfill the sentient beings' wish.
그래서 딱 그게 용다 카트리 영화 방식 싹바이 근데 그거는 남그 카트는 ebe 심지 탐지도 초화상 벤조즈네 제우도 가르치 성지 고통 돈네 가르치기 있나 다 너무 말고 너무 와그 남들게 것도 심지 탐지엔 그 기기만 봐 말이 그만 봐도 용산에는 심지 탐지 성지 공부도 보쇼 당아도 성지 시당 소리 좀만 잘 지발해 주던도
The newer the so the zero
카트리 영화 벌써 봐 있어야 돼 상바 디즈네 다 손이 단단히 정도면 바바친 보신 손이 좋고 있는 손이 좋네 가르치는 끈이 더 그래 끈이 더나 그래서 돈이 쉐도 그랑도 전도 좀 다시 맞을 거지 다 전도 더 탈신 등 거 심진 가지기 남고 심진 합직 머리 비만 봐서는 손지 공방 꼭 그인 세도 다 watching.
Yeah. So this is the whole the explanations of the first verse, which begin with the from now I will the uh, uh, gain the I will gain the with the effort over time to achieve the two merits. By achieving the two merits, one could achieve the two the kayas. Once we achieve the two kayas, then there is the great possibility that we can fulfill the others and oneself.
다 때만 좀 새롭건다 저병 지위지송 담배를 막 근성 남기죠 니네 드비 야놈니 시쇼 다 단단히 좀데 전에 좀비지 새롭건다 단단한 주체 좀비 밀린던 리던데 좀데 교환이 계로 처를 정보 지라베는 잠배양 지스송 유신 잠배양 지스송 이 신나 때네 담배를 막 근성 기초자 성지지 송위는 담비 돈데 람마 상와메 봐 만도로 들리지게 좀니 탁뜨거니 성지지 공부 토버셔 지금 생년에 드비잖아요 쇼 탁뜨 성지 공부도 성지 탐지적 특이 용어를 써 지금 세다 때문에
And the second verse, Manjushri, may your compassionate wisdom guide my lives along the path and lead lead me to the Dharma, that my practice may please the Buddha. And here, uh, the so the by having this that very the form that we have, and life after life, will the relying on the wisdom Buddha, Manjushri, as my uh, the my guru, or my spiritual guidance, or the spiritual the masters, uh, which I can, by having that, I can achieve and receive the great realizations teaching of the Buddha. That teaching is the all completed, and no mistake. So by having this, by achieving that kind of the practice and the teachings, may I able to please the Buddha.
특정한 잠배양 잠배양 셰르기 사도 어떤 잠배양과 잡수고나 가는 아무 셰르 공부도 그렇고 탁득 나는 거 셰르도 배 털신 바 처음 가는 잠배양 그래도 잠배양의 농수지 동동지 잠바 선동고 아주 셰르지 차디야 털신 온 잠배양 거 영지기 차 탐지 털신 온 자리에서 공부 어떤 니와 탐지 털신 온 전화도 지고 어떤 데든지 대장 나는 또 털신 바 잠배양 때문에 셰르기 할라 때문에 셰르기 할라 때문에 가지고 또 티스모 지고 티스모 거는 지금 아무 셰르도 컴퓨터네 아무 셰르 잠배양이야 니와지는 좀 있어 그러고
So I think there is a great the benefits relying or the praying to wisdom Buddha Manjushri. Um, so why we recite and pray and rely on Manjushri, because to develop our wisdom, our intellectual mind, or the wisdom. And speaking of the wishing, achieving the wisdom, compassion, strength, and so forth. Wisdom, compassion, and strength of the Buddha. There isn't actually like we can see this is the real wisdom Buddha, or that is the real the solid the compassion Buddha, but rather it is the you as individuals become the wisdom and the compassionate one. For example, by relying on the wisdom Buddha and reciting the mantra and so on and so forth. At the end, what you should do, you have to generate that the wisdom within your mind, so that you become the wisdom. You become the wisdom one. Similarly, as compassions, like there's no such like compassion Buddhas solidly we can point and so forth, but rather by relying on the compassion Buddha, one could generate that kind of power of compassions within oneself. And similarly, as the speaking of the strength and the power by relying on the Vajrapani, there's no such like objectively there we can see and we can point, but rather by relying on that, then Vajrapani we can develop or enhance the power of our the mindset.
일단 남경도 직접동 직접전에 이 잡는 거는 데 직접 잡고 직접서 했던 거죠. 사실 남도 비상기 다다 나오죠. 정치선 받도 공수 통만 초사도 정치인들 시세 뭐는 잡지 요때 직접 했던 거죠. 디지선 나오네. 아우스 gelate niwa 동기 된다. 아우스들 사원이요. 아우스 समाज들 사원이요. 사원 때랑 아주 내래 니와 로트 듣고 chetan le tang parang da zu zo bi chat choni sa ni ni jang yong zo rang ji ge cham ni wa kong bi zu ang zu ta ma sang ji kong ba to go zo da je wu jab to si jab mo ma de re wa ji zhe de ma dong je ge de zhe ang wu su su to ji sang ji kong ba de ji
the Japanese show again. So there, actually, speaking of the objects outwardly and the objects that could have inwardly. So there are two kinds of refuge: the outer and the inner, or the going refuge to the objects of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or uh, the self refuge. And for example, the all of us, we all have the seed of the Buddhahood. We all have a seed of Buddhahood. All we need to do is just we have to nourish that seed of the Buddhahood, or seed of the Buddha. And the people, due to the ignorance and so forth, we are being doomed, or being kind of pressed down, that not able to generate, not able to generate. So all we have to do is by practicing of the listening, contemplations, and meditations, and nourish that very the seed, uh, uh, seed by achieving the true marriage and so forth. So at the end, we become the self the refuge.
不同状这种对不对？它那跟谁就比方什么对不对？
Mhm. So we have we will meditate for 50 minutes. So I would like to you to meditate on the subjects we talk.
那什么，那么现在主要
So if you have any doubts, then we can discuss.